This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University, and today I want to talk about the Ethereum Bank finally enabling withdrawals. The Shapella upgrade, also known as the Shanghai upgrade, has made it possible to withdraw staked Ether on the network for the first time. I was actually alerted to this upgrade by yet another upstanding member of the Ethereum community who left a comment that said, "How do you BTC maxi pads like that Shanghai upgrade? Middle finger. And where is this case against ETH as a security? Question mark. 2050 still waiting, lol, university waiting on a new video." Makes a really good point. Sounds like another very smart member of the Ethereum community. Meanwhile, Vitalik has confirmed that his software project, Ethereum, that was funded by issuing unregistered securities, the token ETH, still has a leader, it has a roadmap, it has a paid developer team. And he's doing this all out in the open in front of the SEC, which is quite interesting. At a live stream as the hard fork was taking place with Ethereum, he said that we're in a stage where the hardest and fastest parts of the Ethereum protocol's transition are basically over. How does he know this? He knows this because he is the lead dev and one of the co-founders of Ethereum. He says very significant things still need to be done, but those very significant things can safely be done at a slower pace. So we still have a leader of this project. We have an updated roadmap diagram. And if you look closely, you can see here that we're at the point of withdrawals. I'll link to this in the description notes below. And what's funny here, the next step, there is something called a secret leader election. I'm not quite sure what that is, but here's the roadmap for Ethereum as put forward by the CEO of what's essentially a software company that's trying to hide as a foundation. But we've just gone through the merge. Then we have the surge, the scourge, the verge, and then maybe at some point before that, the SEC gets on board and makes them register, because you can't have a roadmap if you're a decentralized protocol. It just doesn't make any sense. We have Adam Cochran here saying ETH is now basically a non-sovereign, decentralized, redeemable bond, where the payment rate is demand for a decentralized network. We've already talked about how non-decentralized Ethereum is. You had a huge ICO. You have the move to proof of stake, which is inherently centralizing. But what's interesting about this is you actually have an Ethereum here claiming that this is a bond, and he must not realize that a bond is a security and it pays interest income. And this is one way you end up getting regulated by the SEC. I think Lynn Alden put it best in this tweet from a couple weeks ago. Commodities don't need to wait for a group of paid developers to allow them to be unstaked. Securities do. This is a really elegant way of saying that ETH is not a commodity. It's obviously a security, and it was issued to fund the Ethereum Foundation and all these developers. Then many of you have been asking, why did ETH rally sharply on the news? Probably due to short covering. The market had been pricing in some small but real possibility that something would go catastrophically wrong with the hard fork. But it looks like liquidation data from CoinGlass, I'll link to this in the description notes below, suggests that it was short covering. So people who were short ETH covering, and it looks like that short covering is still going on this morning. I also wanted at the same time, though, to draw your attention to this tweet from Predator talking about Ethereum as the 1984 chain. This video just came out. Justin Drake, who works as a researcher at the Ethereum Foundation, said today, and I'll link in the description notes below so you can listen to the full dialogue. He said that when you stake your ETH, you can be tracked via IP address, and that there are internal data banks at the Ethereum Foundation that keep track of this. So basically, this is yet another example of the loss of privacy that happens through Ethereum, and it's all being tracked internally by this software corporation. I'm going to link to this in the description notes below. Was the Ethereum ICO A Fraud, in which I talk about Joe Lubin advising large investors how to buy ETH from multiple pseudonymous accounts. And I go on to point out what this means is that ETH may not have been as widely distributed at its ICO as is widely believed. Ethereum's transition to proof of stake gives more power to these initial holders, since having more coins under proof of stake gives you more power over the network. It's a very important point to make, and we have to realize why Ethereum was incentivized to move to proof of stake. It wasn't that they wanted just a virtue signal to the world that they were using less energy. Of course, a paper bag, storing your money in a paper bag, uses even less energy than ETH, but it's to consolidate control, that these original whale holders have control since the ICO. If we take a look at ETH's performance since the merge officially happened, that hard fork. And again, when you have a protocol that does hard fork after hard fork after hard fork, and all directed by a founder like Vitalik, this is another sign that you're a centralized project. But the merge originally happened, this move to proof of stake happened on September 15th of last year, and we can see that ETH has been massively underperforming Bitcoin since then. BTC is versus the dollar is the orange line here, and ETH is the US dollar. So in spite of all of the huge ETH rally that we've been seeing, still underperforming since the merge by about 13% or 1,300 basis points. And this year as well, underperforming by about 10%, ETH underperforming Bitcoin. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.